All right, how you doing? Today's lesson is going to be focused on writing. Some of the basic things that we're kind of working on with your kids is basically how to write on notebook paper, which can sometimes be a challenge, especially if they haven't had much practice with it. So I'm going to kind of walk you through some of the basics and some of the things to look for as you're looking at your child's writing and wanting to help them improve their writing. We want to make sure that the circles on the left-hand side of the page, that the margin or the header space is at the top of the paper. Oftentimes kids will come in and just write anywhere they feel like writing on a piece of paper. So believe it or not, you kind of have to be a little bit more explicit in where you want them to write and how you want them to write. I'm kind of working with my students. I've kind of established that this is kind of the no write zone. Okay. This is the no write zone. So the only places available for the student to write are basically within this framework. And there's about 26 lines on a sheet of paper. And we want them to learn to start at the red line, the margin line on the left-hand side. So if they were writing a story, I'll give you the one that we wrote today, in fact. One day, my family and I went to the beach. Okay, so as simple as that is, you'll notice that I started with a capital letter. That's one of the big focuses that we have in terms of writing, is starting sentences with a capital letter. Another big focus is spacing. You want to be about a pencil space, more or less, between the words, because a lot of times kids will run their words together, kind of like I did right here. And it's really hard to read. So we want to kind of help them focus on establishing those norms where they're spacing out their words, they're starting with capital letters, anything that needs to be capitalized. One of the biggest issues that we have in writing, and it goes all the way up to 4th grade and beyond, capitalizing that I, my family and I. If you're talking about yourself and you're using the word I, it needs to be capitalized. And the kids always want to write it as a lowercase I. So that's something that you can look at and help them with. We want to make sure that there's end punctuation on any sentence that's written. And again, we want to focus on trying to use a variety of sentences. So if they're going to be yelling or something, then they can use an exclamation point. If they're going to be asking a question, obviously we want them to be using a question mark. Let's see. Those are the big things. Neatness is key. I am not the perfect writer. My handwriting is something that I develop over time, and every kid will develop theirs over time as well, but we want to focus on some of the basics. They're moving from writing, in kinder and first, they usually write on paper that looks kind of like this, and it has the lines in the middle. I'm sure you've seen it. Well, we're transitioning onto the notebook paper. This is wide-ruled notebook paper. We always want them focusing on or using wide-ruled, not college-ruled. And what they're used to be doing is they start at the top line or the hat line. This is called the belt line. This is called the baseline or the foot line. Well, that's basically 2 full lines of paper right there, and we're not writing that way anymore. So now what we've got to do is kind of establish that this is the headline and this is the baseline, and in between there's this imaginary belt line that kind of works through each line. If you'll notice, all of my letters kind of go to that middle line part, okay? These are little basic things that we can do to help them with their writing. When they come back to class and they have practice on this, it's going to show. Not only will this help their writing, but believe it or not, it'll help their reading too. So hopefully this helps you out as you help your child with writing. This will be something that hopefully this is something you'll find useful. Appreciate your time. Thank you.